Yes, ma'am.
Wait, is this going to be taped or live?
It's going to be taped.
Cool. And if you can keep it down to like 10 minutes tops, only because we're like running a little bit behind, that'd be really cool.
Oh, that's no problem.
Thanks. Hang on.
Okay.
Chuck, you're on with Spider.
Hi, Spider.
What's up, Chuck? How you doing?
Doing good, man. I got to interview you a few years ago in person, so it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back on the scene, you know?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I got to go through this. I know you've answered this question about 1,000 times already, but we got to go with the standard softball questions.
Right on.
Give me the timeline regarding the past couple of years from about August of 2001, right before Anyone for Doomsday was supposed to come out, to present time. What kind of happened?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a crazy story, but basically what happened was, you know, we had a lot of success with the Tonight the Stars Revolt record. You know, Worlds Collide was a pretty big hit for us. We got off after touring for a year and a half, and you know, went back in and made a record. You know, maybe we should have taken a break. I don't know. We're literally 2 weeks in front of putting Anyone for Doomsday in the stores. You know, the whole machine was rolling, and I just kind of, you know, looked at it and I decided that it wasn't the right record, man. We should have tried some more things. We should have been more experimental, and you know, if there's one thing that POWERMAN's always done is changed it up on every record, and it just didn't feel like we did the job. So we went to DreamWorks and asked if we could, you know, we could tweak the record a little bit, and they stood by us, and then, you know, the next thing I know, 2 original members decided to leave. So at that point, all bets were off. I just tore the whole thing down and started from scratch and made an entirely new record, and which basically leads us up to today, which is we're back with a whole new record called Transform, and we're ready to get out there and do it all over again.
Well, I want to get to the 2 new members here in a second. One final question regarding that line of questioning. Bombshell was the first single.
Yeah.
I know, I've checked out the track listing. I know there's no plans for it. Great song, but any plans to revitalize Bombshell anytime for whatever purpose?
You know, it's out there. You can get it. You know, it's on a couple soundtracks. It might be the kind of thing we bust out live once in a while. Right now, you know, I'm going to let that record kind of exist on its own out in cyberspace where people can steal it freely if they want to. And, you know, we're just going to concentrate on the new batch of songs. And who knows, you know, maybe when we're old and gray and we put out a box set, you know, that may rear its ugly head. But right now it's all about the new stuff.
All right, new stuff is May 20th. Transforms the name of the album. New bassist is Siggy. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Siggy from crazy Norwegian guy. He's been in the country for a year, and all of a sudden he's a rock star. You know. And your new drummer, Adrian. Right.
How did you acquire them, and how have they revitalized the sound of POWERMAN 5000?
Yeah, you know, the search for the drummer was a piece of cake. Adrian was recommended by a friend of ours, and he came down and just first audition, nailed it, and you know, I just kind of knew right away he was the guy. The bass player search was a whole other ball of wax. That was literally we auditioned 40 guys before we found Siggy, and
wow,
that was a long, involved process. But you know, it's cool. You know, this band is over 10 years running, and it's great to have some like young, hungry guys in the band. It just makes it feel like a new band again, and their playing is phenomenal. You know, they're young and intense players, and it's cool. You know, it's really stepped up the live aspect of the band. I mean, you know, I haven't heard the band play with this much fire in years, so I think it's going to really show when we get out there on the road.
Well, y'all will be here in San Antonio on Sunday, May 11th.
Right.
It's part of a kind of a packaged radio type of thing for those of us in the inside of the music business. It's going to be a good bill, and we're definitely looking forward. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since y'all have been down here in South Texas.
Yeah, it's been a long time, way overdue.
Yeah. May 20th, the album Transform, the artwork, which I saw a picture of on PowerMan5000.com. Who came up with that very interesting piece of artwork?
Yeah, that's pretty insane, right? That's my doing, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it started out as you know, I just shot 2 videos for the band, and some of that artwork we were utilizing in the video, and it just started to stick, and we ended up incorporating into the artwork. It's just some sort of, if you see the album cover, it pretty much looks like it was drawn by a madman, you know. So. Yeah,
well, the artistic thing kind of runs in the family, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's such a big part of what we do and what I do, and you know, it's you know, the music is really just one part of it. I love doing the videos. I love doing the artwork. I love the whole process of putting it together and just the creative side of everything, and so definitely, it's just part of the whole package.
Well, I read some reports and some early interviews with you, and for people who have heard the album or parts of it, saying that there's more vocal melody on Transform than in years past. Now, this harmonizing, this vocal melody, I'm not sure the proper musical term, but is this something that's always been a part of you, or is it something that you had to kind of learn and retrain your voice to do?
Yeah, it's funny because I started out, as a kid wanting to be in punk rock bands, and, it didn't really involve a lot of melodic elements. It was more screaming, and, and then, I sort of discovered rap music, and I was into that element, and of course that doesn't involve melody, so it got to this point where, POWERMAN's like 4 albums in, and I'm thinking, I gotta challenge myself and try some new stuff, and I had always been a little bit afraid to actually sing, in a proper way, and so it was definitely, a scary moment when I started trying to do that, and yeah, you're exactly right. It was a bit of relearning and figuring out a new way to use my voice, but I'm really happy with the results. It's cool to change it up so late in the game and not just always rely on the same tricks all the time.
Right. Now, from the album review, the album description, I should say, the song-by-song breakdown written by you, from what I gathered from it, this album is dealing with themes like conformity and hopelessness, or thereabouts, a call to arms, talking about whores, apathy, manufactured emotions. Where do you think that these emotions started to come out of you? Was it because of your dealings with the music industry, or did this stuff come about after you had to step back after canceling anyone for Doomsday and just kind of reinvent yourself in a way?
I mean, it's funny. I think the funny thing about a lot of the messages on this record is they're not really that different than a lot of things that I've always sung about, but it's the process that's changed. I've always written, in the past, I've written lyrics that have been a bit abstract, and I've always tried to sort of hide the meaning, of the songs and make it more of a puzzle. And this time around, I said I'm going to lay out the meaning. I'm going to put it clearly in front of people what I have to say, and so all my social commentary this time is I just want people to understand what I'm saying, and I think that's the difference between this record and some of the other ones that I've made.
Well, I can definitely attest to that. On your description of a song called "That's Entertainment," you have a lyric that's let's see who's the biggest whore, right, which is an obvious reference to pop stars, and well, we won't name names, but
Sure.
we know who they are.
Exactly.
And how have you and your bandmates prevented yourselves from being quote unquote whored
right
by the record industry? How have you kept your musical integrity?
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you, and it's funny because sometimes I look at this band, and we've been around for a long time, and we've been signed to a major label for years, and I look at the way we function as a band, and the honest truth is it hasn't changed a bit since we started, and we still do everything ourselves. We rehearse in a little tiny room, and we write all our own music, and we there's nobody telling us what to do. Basically, we've functioned the same way since we did from day one. We make our own flyers, we design our own artwork. And I think really that's the trick, is just maintaining control over your own vision and your own band, and don't let other people in the industry tell you how that you should function. And really, that's the key, and that's how one thing we've always held on to is just creative control.
Very cool. One side kind of question. This Friday morning, I am interviewing your brother by telephone. Is there something I should bring up? Give me a brotherly thing that I could ask Rob that would, like, how the hell do you know that, or why are you asking me such a stupid question?
That's a good one. Let me think.
A nickname.
God damn, I'm trying to think of something that would just blow his mind. Shit. You're stumping me. I'm trying to think of something like childhood that he may remember.
Did he make like an A in home ec or something? I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is we were really big comic geeks growing up. When we were little kids, and I think you should just out of the blue ask him, "Hey Rob, who would win in a fight, the Incredible Hulk or the Thing?" And he'll just be like, "Why are you asking me this ridiculous question?"
All right.
And it's it's almost embarrassing, you know what I mean? Because it takes the, it just shows where we come from.
Okay. And have you got to see his movie yet?
You know, I'm going. I saw an early cut of it, and I'm going to the official premiere tonight. So I'm looking forward to it.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, Spider, I want to thank you for your time today. You got the album Transform out May 20th, and a few weeks prior, you and your bandmates will be here in San Antonio for the Big Old Rock Show Part 2.
We'll be tearing it up.
Good. Good to speak to you.
Thanks for having me, man.
And I plan on grilling your brother on Friday. Maybe we'll discuss Incredible Hulk and the thing. And,
all right.
It'll be good, and I look forward to seeing you in May.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Outside the boundaries of their phony world of kicks is the ever-present possibility of discovery. This must be avoided at all costs, for discovery brings with it the penalties of society. Shame, arrest, prison. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.